Okay, welcome to the Edge. This is Augi, and some of you people are used to my commentaries, and some haven't become familiar with it yet. But there's a proposal going around. The idea is that the governor of Florida is unbeatable and possibly likely to be a strong candidate and/or defeat anybody who runs against him in the national election. Should he make it that far? Should he remain governor? He has to run for governor first, unless he decides to wait and just run for president. He's acting like that's his motive, but he's got a few problems in the state of Florida. Things like the red tide is hanging around because of Piney Point. The spillage from Piney Point is going into the Gulf. Very similar to what happened in the Governor Scott's period that he was governor previous to Desantis. Governor Scott made a big mistake. He started dumping or allowing the dumping or encouraging the dumping from Lake Okeechobee, not just in the Atlantic where it can be flushed out and spread in a very big way, deep water and so forth, but he allowed it to be dumped into the Gulf of Mexico. We had 2 years during his governorship, at the last 2 or 3 years of his governorship, of what is called red tide, a natural phenomena aggravated or made worse by bringing in nutrients that make the red tide grow even more so. And of course, those who know what red tide is know also that it becomes a very serious health issue, and the beaches become uninhabitable. Stink from the dead fish just grows by big bounds and leaps. Well, that's not a very happy scenario if it's happening all over again. And with Piney Point and the spillage into the Gulf, and this governor being at the helm and control of the agency, the Public Service Commission, and all the health agencies in the state of Florida have let this thing slide. It's on his watch. Governor Desantis is going to have this albatross around his neck if it becomes a serious matter. Good chance it will. He's been lucky. He criticized the handling of the Lake Okeechobee thing under the previous governor when he ran at the time. So he was a Republican criticizing a Republican. That looked brave, and people respected that. Now it's on his watch doing the same damn thing. That's one thing. And we see some other things on the horizon for this precious governor, Desantis, a Harvard graduate, smart guy. Or is he? Is he just politically smart? Or is he? Very big questions. Some people think he's the next candidate for president, as I said earlier. Or is he? Is he big enough to say, Donald, stay home, or if you want to come back in, just be vice president for me? Think about that. Vice President Donald Trump or Desantis, Governor Desantis running for president, Donald Trump vice president. Interesting scenario. Strange bedfellows. Nonetheless, lately, just recently, we've got the controversy. What is it? The racial thing, race tracing theory or something like that. And it basically says that it will tell you what you can teach in the classroom about history. And if you violate our issues around who you upset over what you say about race history, well, we'll fire you as a history teacher in the state of Florida. We'll fire you. That's really the threat. And it's called censorship. It's a violation of the First Amendment, the Bill of Rights that the right wing doesn't like to talk about. It's free speech. Oh, the Second Amendment, gun rights. Oh, all of those things. They're all in the Bill of Rights, and there's a lot of other things in the Bill of Rights. That isn't the Declaration of Independence. That isn't the Constitution. It's the Bill of Rights, because the things in the Constitution didn't cover those important matters like free speech, like the gun issue, right to carry a gun. But nonetheless, the second thing that DeSantis may be facing is the insurance crisis. Insurance rates jumped 100% in 2020. Now, if you were paying $200 a month in insurance, that's for homeowners insurance. It went to $400. That's $5,000 a year. Four times 12 months is $480. $4,800. Excuse me. That's $5,000 virtually on insurance for the same thing that cost the previous year half of that under his watch. And so, what's been the backup insurance company for quite a long time? I think they had 500,000 insurers up until 2 years ago, and now they have it's run by the state called Citizens. It's now up to 700,000, but the rates for Citizens isn't going to stay down very long. They're going to let those rates go up too, and this is basically what Desantis has said. He's going to do that, and the Public Service Commission are the people who regulate this, and they're all DeSantis appointees. He put them in the position they're in to control what rates are, whether it's Florida Power and Light, FPL, or insurance rates, or whatever. Nonetheless, he's got the red tide could be facing a revolt by the people over paying excessive insurance rates and auto rates as well. Auto insurance is going to go doubling as well. So they're complaining that the insurance companies are complaining that there's too many lawsuits, so they need more protection and more premium increases. The Public Service Commission does that at the bidding and or signing of a bill that DeSantis, they say, has just signed on these rates. That they're going to let these rates balloon. And I think it's a political nightmare for the Republican Party. This continues in this direction down the road, all converging toward the end of this year as these things become realized and people come back from going up north in the summer months, discover these big bills hitting them in the head, signed on by this governor, along with the other controversial stuff that he's been involved in. So is he so indestructible? I'm not so sure. And he's running Nikki Fried, who I think she's the chief of finance officer for the state of Florida, elected as a Democrat into that position in the last election in 2018. She's running. And Charlie Crist, who was governor at one time, is also running. He's going to be facing some pretty good competition. He had Andrew Gillum, to run against the first time former mayor of Tallahassee. And somewhat attractive, but I found weak candidate. And all of that said, Gillum came within, I think, 25,000 votes of tying him. DeSantis didn't win by that big amount. So if you love DeSantis, make sure you know where he's going to go and if he's going to succeed or not. So are they going to help him win by fixing the election so it doesn't go the other way again? Or how are they going to help him win? Or is it inevitable? He's so popular. These insurance rates, the red tide, those two things alone are very serious detriments to Ron DeSantis. And if the economy gets going and the insurance rates get out there, then the mortgage companies are going to say, whoa, we're going to make you, as part of your mortgage, cover what we tell you you're going to cover. You know, there's a popular thing called reverse mortgages. People say, well, if I'm old and I got this equity in my thing, I can just take a reverse mortgage and stop paying mortgage payments. When you do that, the loan companies are saying, okay, fine, do that. But as you take money out, your equity is static. It stays at one point, the value of your house. So if the value goes down, the equity is static, and if it falls below the real appraisal value at the time, say you have a bad economic crash, for example, and all the real estate values go down, your house goes with it. If you're on a reverse mortgage and your equity goes down, you can't sell your house. It won't hold its value to make a loan. And if insurance rates get difficult, that's going to kill housing in the state of Florida because they're not going to want to insure housing that's not covered enough. So the lending company is going to say, you got to have the good insurance. We're not going to give you a loan. This thing is not a small thing, folks. It's not about who you like or who's popular. Money talks, everybody else walks. Ron DeSantis, let this be a warning to you. Better be careful when you sign that insurance bill, because people are going to figure it out pretty quickly when they see those doubling, 100% increases in insurance costs, whether it's your car, whether it's your house, whatever. Um, that's not a small political problem called an albatross. An albatross is when you have a dead duck around your neck and you become the dead duck. So, and and you can talk to Donald Trump all you want, and you get his followers, but the followers also have to pay insurance. The followers also don't like to walk the beaches. Followers also don't like to hold their nose when they walk the beach. That was 2 years of red tide. I lived on Siesta Key. People did not come to the key because of the stink at the beaches, the floating dead fish washing ashore in bundles, big fish, little fish, all kinds of fish. Even manatee were killed by the red tide. 2 years it went on. So this is the kind of thing that the governor of Florida, with all his seeming success, could be running into a real wall, a serious wall. I want to thank you, and I want to thank my producer for reminding me what a popular governor the state of Florida has. Thank you very much. Come back and subscribe to us, listen to us, tell us what you think. Alex?